Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NDA podcast. This is episode number 18. I'm joined with Kev and Wex. We're going to go over some of the quarterfinal matches for the NDA, as well as take a further look into the semifinal matches that are going to be coming up this week. Very exciting stuff to talk about. Very sad stuff to talk about as well from my end. But I'm sure my other co-hosts don't feel that same sentiment. So with that being said, thank you guys for listening, and let's just jump into the first match we're going to talk about today, which is Kev versus Riolu. We got the San Jose Sharks, as I like to say, SJS, versus the Maine Mudkips. All right, Kev, throw it over to you. How do you feel about that match?
Yeah, no complaints. We were doing our prediction tables carried into the playoffs. Would have got this one exactly correct. 2-0 to myself. I'm very happy with that. I'm sure, as you know, Justin, because you were prepping me, I was a little nervous about this matchup. I didn't really have a great matchup. Honestly, Crocodile is like the perfect counter to my team. It's quite annoying. It counters Zamazenta, counters Gothitelle. It has rock moves for Thundurus, and Thundurus can't really hit it because electric. That's what that does. Dragalge it has ground. Moltres can't hit it really, like with maybe like a solar beam, but just use rock moves. Like my whole team except like Lapras, but even then, Lapras is like so Thunder. Not Thundurus. I have Thundurus. Crocodile really counters my entire team, and I was really nervous, but I was able to kind of navigate around it a bit. His Beartic Crocodile lead kind of threw me off. I completely forgot about Anger Point, and he was going to try and crit Frost Breath into the Crocodile. Thankfully, Zamazenta is a beast and can just one-shot the Beartic. I really thought he was just going to pull the Delibird shenanigans with Beartic, which I thought was confusing. Because, like, another thing I was really scared of in prep was Delibird Crocodile. Like, you Ice Shard in a Crocodile, set off its weakness policy. Then Delibird also has Fake Out, and Memento is really frustrating when you knock at the Sash. It says at 1 HP, and it just wipes out one of your mon's attack stats. So I thought he was just going to Ice Shard with Beartic, and he wanted to do that. But luckily, we avoided that. And after that, I kind of just stalled. Like, he brought out the Zacian and Crocodile on the field together, which I struggled with, but I was able to get up Trick Room quite easily. And when I was in Trick Room, I was able to just spam Charm, which was the MVP of this week. Like, lowering his attack stat was so big. Like, I'm so glad I was able to get a Trick Room and do that. Because, Justin, I was stressing about that. Because in certain situations, he could just double into Goth. Like, I was Focus Sash, which luckily didn't get revealed game 1 because I charmed so much. But if he just doubled into me, yeah, I was screwed.
Yeah, I feel like I like the Anger Point idea, but I feel like if you just went like the traditional weakness policy and like maybe some bulk, but like mostly attacking Crocodile, you would have had a much better time. As well as just maybe, I don't know, Rock Slide's pretty good against your team, so maybe bring that as well and use it more. Like there's some like small like different like moves you could have done on certain turns where, I mean, I know if people were listening to me commentating, they would understand. Like it's frustrating from an outsider's perspective. But I mean, especially for me, because I did prep and I knew what the winning like strategy would have been. So for me especially, it was pretty frustrating watching and like seeing like, Riolu, who had a legitimate chance. Like, we must have prepped like what, 20 plus times. I think he only won legit like 3 or 4 times. And some of those times were off of just hacks. And then other times it was just, poor play on my part, obviously. But most of the time you were not winning against Crocodile, whether it's in the front or in the back. It was doing a lot of things, as well as the Zacian. So a little sad to see a big upset chance to go to waste, unfortunately. But if listen, if that anger point was able to be activated, and he was as bulky as he said, that is dangerous. That is no fun for Kev. We did not prep that. There's no way you can really prep that.
I mean,
It's just more of a cross your fingers.
I understand where he's coming from though. Like, that's a viable strategy. Like, if you can get it off, you can go bulky Crocodile and afford to do that. Like, being hella bulky and then just getting a free +6, like that's huge. Like, I mean, I don't know what his thought process was. I guess he was just hoping that I didn't lead Zom, and then when he saw Zom, like I guess he just kind of sent it anyway. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
game one, I know what you said. Like, yeah. So he tried to, he thought I'd be slow Zom, which was just unfortunate. I wasn't. I try to have some speed here and there. It helps with things like that, like inadvertent things that I don't even prep for. It helped with, so I'm very happy with that. But like you said, game one, like I feel like it's fairly. I guess you don't assume, but you also like can think that you would just one-shot the Gothitelle with something like Crocodile. So like I think I had somewhat of a reliable trick room setup for like a game one scenario, which is why game two it worked, because luckily he didn't know I was Sash. But if he just knocked me to Sash, I would have got it up game one, but then game two I'd be screwed. Like he would know to double me, and then I mean I'd probably have to play around that somehow. But I think Trick Room was like somewhat reliable game one, and it put me in a good spot. Like in prep, you know what I kind of had, and you knew how to just get rid of it. So I think I was all right for game one, but like if you figured it out, game two, maybe a game three would have been pretty stressful.
Yeah, it's just looking at the lead. You see Gothitelle and you see a Marowak. It's like
I didn't lead Marowak.
What'd you
either
lead?
Game. I led Zom Gothitelle, and then I led Lapras Gothitelle. I did not lead Marowak in either game.
Oh. Well, when you were leading against me, I mean, if you're leading Marowak, you're kind of revealing, oh, okay, this is going to be Trick Room Gothitelle with, like, Fake Out in case there's, like, a Delibird on the field or something that needs to be faked out. Actually, no, Delibird just out-fakes out, so I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, and prep, you did lead Marowak a few times, and that kind of just makes it obvious.
That is why I did not lead it.
Yeah. But leading Zom, I mean, worked out very well because of that Frost Breath. Oh, if that happened, you would have been in the mud. You would have been screwed. But I don't know if he was max speed Bear Tick, but I'm not sure if max speed Bear Tick.
He was. No, max speed Bear Stick with Choice Scarf is slower than the Zom investment I had.
Yeah. Do you know the final speed of the Bear Tick?
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I think it's in the 160s. I had Zom at like it was like low 180s, or I forget what it was. It was slower by.
You can't really speed creep Zacian, considering Zacian's slightly faster. So.
Yeah, I think
What were you speed?
Oh, I think I was exactly 180, and he was in this the 160s, because I for some reason sped crep his. I mean, it's always good to see. I sped crep his Tornadus. Like, I have a Thundurus as well, so like they're both at 111. So like I like to have maybe one of them, like. So Zom was always one speed faster than Thundurus. So like if I'm ever in a scenario where they're both on the field, I know Zom's faster. And like if he has the same 111 speed, I just sped crep that to make sure if it's attacking, I'm faster. And therefore it worked out in my favor because Choice Scarf Bear Tick is still slower than me.
Choice Scarf Bear Tick max speed with Naive is 168.
Yeah, 168. So
you'd have had to be like 164 invested, I think, roughly.
Yeah, I had a decent bit. I don't have it anymore, but I don't remember what I was exactly. But I'm pretty sure I was like 180. I definitely was 180 because of Tornadus. So
yeah. No, like just from like being with Justin commentating, like we were so frustrated, like sometimes with what Riola was doing, like we were just we were near shouting, telling him to just target the Gothitelle because it was just charming everything, not even killing everything, just charming everything, making sure that nothing else can basically touch any of your mons whatsoever. Like for Tusk, it was pretty clear that's what was
He
happening.
couldn't really target me with anything good because he was very supportive. Lucario.
Yeah.
And he had no moves for Goth, and I was charming the Crocodile, and it just wasn't enough damage.
We thought like he kept quaking, but we were just a bit confused on why he wouldn't just use one Darkness Lariat, max darkness into Gothitelle. I know you said you were
was
sashed, but at that point he
Yeah.
didn't know that, so like even that would have been good scan for game 2, and then game 2 obviously the Screech miss was pretty big. And
That was very big. And then he clicked Wild Charge instead
Wild
of
Charge.
Behemoth
Oh,
Dash.
yeah.
And Wild
We were
Charge
a
is super effective. Behemoth Blade is neutral, but when I was
That's more.
max, I think it definitely would have did more. And he wouldn't have died to recoil either. So
Yeah. But like it was actually like I know you ended up winning 2-0, like, and in the end was pretty comfortably, but like after them two things happened, like it was pretty set in stone, like you were gonna win. But overall, it could have went either way.
for sure, he had a decent idea, and he had a great matchup into my team. It was just Trick Room up and knocking down all his physical attackers really helped me out. And Salamence couldn't do anything because I brought it game 2, and it was in Trick Room, and I had a Lapras on the field, so that was like his only special attacker, I imagine, because his whole team's physical. Even Salamence is physical, but you can run it special, so he normally does. So like, I just knocked down his physical attackers, and then I was able to deal with his special attacker because I was faster. So it's kind of just worked out well with Trick Room. I'm very fortunate that Sash was not revealed game 1.
And with regards to pick'ems, I know Riola was the only person to choose himself. That was in playoffs, so everyone else, so the other 9 people got points for that one. So you did good for the people.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if
That's been my
I
role this season. I'm the people's champ. You know, I drafted the Lapras
No.
in C tier. I drafted the Lapras in C tier.
I don't know about this.
Got the people their pick'ems.
No, I think that's just you. I think that's just you who thinks that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, if I had prepped you before we did pick'ems, I would have picked Riolu, because seeing the matchup for myself firsthand, it was like, my God, Crocodile, if you can just keep it alive for like long enough to be able to put out the damage that you need to do, my God, it hits everything on your team super effective. Everything. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It's a threat.
Yeah.
It's just a threat. But GG's Riolu. Good comeback season. We'll see you next season, buddy. GG's.
With that, I think we can move on to the next game, which is Will versus Rooster. Another surprising 2-0 for Will.
Yeah.
I know, Kev, you were surprised because I'm pretty sure you picked Rooster to win in the pick'ems, but actually it was the other way around. It was Will winning. I did want to say Will would finish top 4. Now, whether or not I meant regular season or playoffs, maybe that's up in the air. But technically, I'm not wrong. He's found his way into the semis by beating Rooster. But let's talk about the game first. Wex, how do you think Will did?
Wix will be back in a minute, so I'll take over for him.
I thought I just heard him talking.
I was really surprised. They pulled off another 2-0. Really thought that I thought Rooster would come different this week, and I guess that's my fault. For expecting too much. No, Rooster's had a good season. I thought he would really bring some good stuff for Will this week, but weakness policy Eternatus has been putting people down recently. It's got a very decent bulk. It's got high base. It's a godforsaken legendary Great base stat total, high defenses, and it was living hits from a max Calyrex. Set off a weakness policy, and one shot and things. Snarl support with Manectric was pretty good. Snarl spread Snarl did 30% to a max Calyrex, which is just that was interesting to me. That was a ton of damage from a Snarl. Lowered special attacks, and then he was able to just sweep up the back with the sword and the Eternatus. It was just, I don't know, Rooster just had nothing for it. He couldn't one-shot it, and with weakness policy and his just bulky things in the back, Will was just able to steamroll and then he led Rooster led Pikachu game 2 to try and fake out the Snarls, and Will just maxed the freaking Manectric and used the Snarls max darkness into the Calyrex, which worked because I mean it's only like a 90 base power max move, but that's all you need to hit Calyrex. It's so
it's 4 times super effective. It's dangerous.
Yeah, so it's just such a good adjustment from Will. Like, it's so underrated. Will deserved to win, and I apologize for not backing him after he won 2-0 the week 10. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to playing Will in the next round, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean he's always dangerous. He's always dangerous. Always has some strategy up his hand that's actually really, really good. So, it's always a major threat. It's always something you have to keep your eye out for. Manectric's been putting in so much work for him this season. The lightning rod to dissuade any sort of electric moves, if he so chooses to use that. I mean, he doesn't have to use that. Like, I don't know. He just has his entire team has a lot of utility and a lot of different things that it can do, which is where some in draft fail, aka me. Like, he has mons in his C tier that provide value. My mons, on the other hand, are kind of just like there. Like, they're not like great, but they're not terrible. But he's done a great job with his team. Honestly, Kev, I don't know. I don't know if I can back you this week. If I'm being honest, just I don't know. Will's been playing really well. He definitely has an okay matchup into your team. He definitely has a pretty okay matchup.
But
we'll see.
Into that in the predictions. I beat him once.
We will.
Yeah. I will hope to beat him again.
We'll see. We'll find out soon enough. We'll talk about it a little bit later on in the podcast. But for now, I think it's time we can move on to Wex's game versus Mal, since we have Wex in the call right now. Wex, how about you go over your game and how that went?
Well, obviously it went well. I'm winning 2-0, 4-2, 4-2. In prep, I had a bit of an epiphany on Friday morning. I had the idea of running Fletchender with Resto Chesto with Fletchender, which worked out really well for me. In prep with Kev, we played a lot of matches and I won the majority of them. The only thing that I think beat Veltal Clef lead wasn't Naganadel and Dedenne, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something along those lines. But all in all, I was just really, once I got the speed boost on Veltal, I was pretty confident that I could just, no matter his speed investment, even if he was fast, I doubted he was going to be fast, but even if he was fast, I could outspeed him then, or just killed in the crowd, which was my main problem looking at it. But once the cross went down, looking at the rest of his team, Cinderace was probably the biggest threat. Arachnus I wasn't worried about. Aerodactyl could have been a threat, but overall, once Necrozma and Dedenne was such a good support man in this scenario, with all he's able to do to my Mienshao, my Beltal, He's able to do so much, just to even just stopping.
Controlling the
speed boost
speed,
effect.
controlling the
Yeah.
speed and the para hacks, and then like controlling Yveltal's special attack is pretty valuable.
It's massive.
Because it's 2 speed. Like, if obviously Dedenne, very frail, you kind of want to run focus at. Therefore, you run max. You have a free max speed investment with therefore it outspeeds Yveltal. So getting those eerie impulses and nuzzles off was big in prep. And I was running Assault Vest Naganadal with like max lightning, and it did decent like damage. Like, I've told you, like, maybe a weakness policy here would have been kind of nice because I wasn't doing that much damage, but I was able to like with you down. But
once you got one mon down, it was kind of like snowball effect with the beast boost. But, no, like once I got fetching there, and my only intention was to click Tailwind, just make sure I'm faster than everything, fire off Dark Pulses into things, and then the rest, the protect. Once I saw protect on the den, I was in the clear. I knew that I was going to be able to get the rest of Chesto off, winning me game 1. But overall, once I saw this, I was a bit I was fairly confident that I was going to be able to take the win. No me and show, I know it's probably blasphemy, but I'm really happy with how I played.
It was good to see. No, Yveltal, me and Shell. Clef just did the trick. Like, redirection was so key because he did try to go Eerie Impulse.
Yeah.
He was
like that's why I went for the nuzzle, the Eerie Impulse, like, because okay, you can nuzzle my Clef to maybe stop it following me, but in the end, like, I still have it's like speed doesn't matter to me really if I have priority move. So
he was a whole lot more like physically attack invested with his Necrozma than me, and Clef still lived the max deal spike, which was wild.
Clef has actually been such a great mon for me. Like, I know the intention was to pick Clefairy, Frame Garden, that would have been nice, but I really think that Clefable has, especially with Unaware, like it's won me a lot of matches, including beating Ryder.
That's an interesting point, because Clefairy is definitely the more metamon for sure. The Unaware has definitely won you games.
I suppose, like, with the prevalence of weakness policy in this format, like, Unaware is low key an extremely good defensive typing and ability, really extremely good defensive ability, along with follow me, like redirection and the possibility to set up screens as well. Like, F has been my defensive like player of the year. I don't know if we're gonna do awards, like, but for me that's my defensive player of the year or mon of the year. Thinking in NBA terms right now, but overall I've just been. Actually, before I go on, just want to apologize to Kev. Yeah, I know you got an extra game out of it, so I won.
What do you mean?
The Nets.
Oh yeah.
Y'all got a game. You just have to wait for Jason Tatum to hit 50. All right, just casually.
Yeah.
But
and then hope that that's enough.
Then hope that's enough. Yeah. But no, overall, I'm happy with it. The reflecting game 2 was pretty big for me.
Yeah, you lived the Pyro Ball with Metagross that time, and set up your weakness policy.
Yeah.
From there, it was you had really good speed control game. Like, he adjusted with his own Tailwind, and then your last turn of max, you set up a Tailwind and got off an Airstream kill into something that had health. I don't remember what, but like
it was probably
then on.
I mean, it was the Cosmo, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I was just faster to control the game. Yeah.
This really good speed control, and then the reflect was clutch, super clutch.
It's one of my better managed games of the season. I'll say that. Like, I've had a lot of,
unlike some other games.
Yeah, like some games I just like.
Your one against Rooster was mind-boggling, and I don't know how you won that still.
Oh my god, that game was a mess. Holy shit.
You've had a good season nonetheless, and you find yourself in the semifinals once again.
Second time, so
Lex has returned to semifinals, so
getting fucking flat.
Chelsea.
But no, yeah, I'm happy with how I played and all. So With that,
And
Yes.
your opponent in the semifinals will be Justin, right? You won, right, Justin? Joined the podcast and winning your playoff match.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess we can move on to me versus Ryder. Probably the closest match out of all the
It
four
was the
matches.
only one to go to
Yeah.
3 sets.
Definitely the closest.
Yeah. First, first I want to say congratulations to Ryder. Definitely was fairly salty. And yeah, I mean, you could see like in the chat, I wasn't very happy with how things were going during the games. I was just getting, because this happened last season, and I got smacked by him this season again. He just seems to be like, ever since I beat him in the final, he just hasn't let it down. Since then, he's beat me 2-0, 2-0, and 2-1. And it hasn't necessarily really been close in those games. Like, I never really had a chance until this one. But yeah, let's just jump into it real quick. Game 1, pretty rough. He ran weakness policy Celesteela with Volt switched Togedemaru, which is nice. I did have light screen. I did have him on with a soul vest. But that wasn't enough that game. Game 2, I adjusted because game 1 I led Pelipper Rillaboom with the idea of I have Choice Scarf on. I'm going to click Soak, and I'm going to G-Max whatever the grass move for Rillaboom. I don't even remember what it is. 208 base power with.
What is this max move called? I feel like no one ever maxes Rillaboom.
A
I
drum
don't
solo,
know.
isn't it? Just
It is
drum solo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, G-Max Drum Solo. 208 base power, stab. It would have done like a lot of damage to a maxed Celesteela, and depending on, I guess, investment, maybe not. Because Kev, were you running any investment on Celesteela?
I was definitely max HP. For most of the time we were prepping, I was max HP, max special defense, but I adjusted it and made it like the damage I would do if I was max special attack. So I think I ended up being max special attack. I'm a max special attack and then max HP.
So okay, well, I mean, then you were still living on like
I would still
15%.
live, but it would do a ton of damage.
Yeah, it would if you had it would
Terrain.
force and protect the next turn. Yeah, it was a lot of.
And, like the boosted G-Max move that and stab that move is like at over 200 base power. Like it's crazy. So
Yeah, it's 208. It's insane.
Yeah.
So that was the strategy. That's how I thought I was just gonna run away with it. I was just gonna click Soak with this Choice Scarf Pelipper with max speed, or not max speed, but enough speed to outspeed certain things. And then just hit G-Max Drum Solo into everything and enjoy life. But clearly that wasn't the case. Togedemaru came and had Fake Out, which I didn't prep for, but I knew that was a thing that could happen. So he faked out the Pelipper, disallowed any sort of soaking shenanigans, and then just one-shot it with a max Airstream, which was quite unfortunate, but Pelipper's more known for having better physical defense than special defense, so I wasn't really surprised, just slightly disappointed. It also wouldn't have worked the next turn after the max Airstream, so it didn't really matter in the long run, but it was a little unfortunate that it happened that way. So that was game 1. After that, it was kind of just in the mud. Game 2, I led my typical, run-of-the-mill Meowstic Dialga lead. And after the first turn, I thought it was over because he got Celesteela to max with a max Airstream, meaning whatever came in on the Meowstic slot, because it was dealt damaged into, was probably going to take either a lot of damage A or B, die. So I wasn't really optimistic. I thought Fake Out, and then because my Fake Out's faster than Togedemaru's Fake Out, I thought Fake Out into a Flamethrower, which is I guess greedy, but I thought that would work. Clearly it didn't.
I think when I was commenting it, Rooster mentioned that like ideally there, I mean your max with Dialga late game was good, but like in that situation, you set up the Sun and would have taken out the Togedemaru. Therefore, your max Flare in the Celesteela later would have done a lot more damage. But ideally, I mean, you were no like investment. We probably should have calced how much like
No, I
effort-
think I was some investment, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I can actually pull up the team on Legacy, if I still have it. Yeah, it was named Please Rider. Actually, wow. Is this this isn't the final team. No, because this still has. Yeah, no, this isn't. Is it the final team? This might be the final team.
Why would it not be?
Yeah. Well, because I have it up in the fucking what's this called? It's not the Google browser. It's not Chrome. If I go on the other one, nah, it doesn't even auto connect to
Are
it.
you
So.
on about Microsoft Edge or what are you on about? Edge? Is that what you're on about?
Yeah, Edge. Yeah, so I guess it was. So I was actually. Wow, this is actually an oversight. I was Adamant Nature on Dialga.
Because you ran physical.
Yeah, but I also had flamethrowers, so I really shouldn't have done that.
And it's like, do you run adamant like, to enhance your physical attacks, and like hinder your special attack? Your only other option other than that is to run like negative speed. 'Cause you don't really want to ever have a minus either defense nature. That just kind of seems.
I'd rather in this scenario. I mean, it probably would have worked out. I don't know the exact calc, but if I take off the if I take off the minus, I'm at 170 base. All right, 170 special attack. If I put it on, I'm at 153. I don't know if that kills Togedemaru, but it definitely puts me in a little bit of a better spot. Like if I got a burn, luckily. But yeah, no, I probably should have maxed there. I was greedy. I was like, okay, I could probably kill this thing because it's not necessarily bulky. Turns out it's more bulky than I thought. And after that, I thought it was over because I was just getting flashbacks to, okay, I'm just gonna get swept by Celesteela again. This is fun times. I'm having a fun time. But no, after that, I managed to pull it back. I think I just got really lucky.
Some clutch lives. Some clutch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, what do you live at? +3 special attack.
The plus, I guess technically it's +4, because times 3.
Why?
It goes from 2 to 2.5. I think you're +4. It was a +4 max airstream. The assault vest, light screen, Rillaboom, and you lived on like 4 HP. It was nuts. And then with that. I think with the grassy terrain recovery on the next turn, you also lived the fake out from a switch in on Toga. I think you killed Celesteela with the flare. They lived airstream, and then he brought in Togedemaru, and then it faked out, and you lived too. It was just really big lives from Rillaboom for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Little taste of Rider's own medicine to beat him in game 2.
Yeah, a little bit of luck there, honestly. I did have special defense investment. I had 140. I was Adamant Nature though, not max HP. So I mean, just enough EVs invested to survive a situation like that. The idea was I would max Rillaboom, and if he max Airstreamed into me, I would survive, and it would be a 3-hit KO while I'll be a possible 1-hit KO into the Celesteela. That was the idea behind it. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to, unfortunately. Game 3, I was thinking about leading the Soak Pelipper again, but I saw how terribly that worked, and I knew Ryder couldn't let that happen, because if he realized that it's like, oh, it's like this, that, I could be in big trouble. So there's no way I could actually lead that again. So I just led the same thing. He led the same thing. And at that point, it was just a straight up mind game. Do I let him Volt Switch for free and get Incineroar in for free now that he knows that I'm a mixed attacking set? Or do I double switch? And I was in between double switching and having Rillaboom eat the max airstream at first, because I knew he was gonna be targeting Meowstic. But at the end of the day, I felt like I couldn't risk the free Volt Switch, so I felt like I had to get rid of the Togedemaru, which turned out to be the wrong choice. See, this is why sometimes this game's 50-50 when it comes to choices. Like, because if I do that, then I know, okay, well now I'm playing, let's stall out the max, because he decided he wanted to max Celesteela that turn, and then switch Togedemaru out into Incineroar, which I thought was coming. I just, yeah, it was just rough. But in the other scenario that I had in my head, I would then double switch again, turn 2, back into Meowstic and Dialga, with Dialga optimally taking the max airstream, and then Meowstic getting faked out in the other slot. Ideally, that's what would happen, but at the end of the day, that's not what I chose, and because I didn't do that, I just straight up lost pretty convincingly. So that was that, and at the end, there's really nothing I can do about it. But nice Resto Chesto on the Giratina. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
if I
pretty
did
good.
run fully special, the Calm Minds really would have just ended up being the bane of my existence. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like a few
Well-
moves different. Like if I put Fake Tears instead of Reflect on Meowstic, then maybe I definitely Oko without Sun, which probably should have been something I looked into, but unfortunately I didn't. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, live and you learn.
I do just want to say you did say it in the middle of game 2. Stop! I lost. Support good players like Redder, not me. After myself and Brewster did the chat with Justin support, and then I just replied a simple "shut the fuck up," and you end up winning. So honestly, I want a full written apology, 16 pages long.
Nope. No, you're not getting one. Ryder's still
Zero-
one. Ryder's still better.
0.5 point spacing.
That's some small ass space. Wait, hold on. Not even double space. What is
Nope.
this?
16
Is this the proper
pages.
format?
Okay. But no, like, even though like I know there was probably like I don't even know what, just a paralyzed twice in the end. I was like, I looked and saw it, I said I'm going to lose to para, and I was like, wait, what? But no. So yeah, you played like, considering like everything else, like what was left. I think that he had 4 mons left, didn't he? At one point, it was like 4v2, and you won.
Yeah.
Togedemaru was on low health, but he still had all 4 alive.
Yeah, that's what it was. Where's it gone?
2 big Rillaboom lives and a max
Yeah.
Dialga late game really helped Justin a lot.
Yeah. So like, you considering you had not much left, you played extremely well with what you had. So I'll say huge props.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm just going to keep on looking back on the Meowstic moveset. Why did I have Reflect? You know, what was the purpose of Reflect? Why couldn't I just put on Fake Tears and try to bolster my special attack with the Flamethrower? I don't know. I feel like I might have just under-prepped. Probably could have done a little bit better. I mean, I say I under-prepped, but I was prepping for a long time. I think people who were trying to help me out could appreciate that I was trying to put in the work, but at the end of the day, I just didn't have the right answers for what Ryder wanted to do, and that's that. And that does wrap up the quarterfinals. Good job to everybody who made it into the semis. What did I pronounce? I didn't even pronounce that right. That was weird. Congratulations to everyone who made it into the semifinals, specifically my co-hosts. You guys have done excellent this season, being number 1 and number 3 in the league. And I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't rooting for both of you guys to make it into the final and have a very nice final of the podcast with podcast dominance. With that being said, though, we do have to analyze the semis. What's that, Wex?
As it should be.
As it should be, yes. With that being said, though, let's analyze some of these semifinals matches here. We have UX versus Ryder. Unfortunately, it's not me, but at least now I can't get crit and then lose off of that. So there's that positive. So Kevin, because I know Wex probably won't say much on what he plans to do if he's even started prepping. Kevin, how do you think this matchup goes for Wex?
I mean, again, base it off restricteds. Wex does have the better matchup. I'm pretty sure when you guys played last time, did Wex even bring Did Ryder even bring Giratina?
I think he brought. Yeah, he did. He definitely brought it, but he didn't really use it that much. Like, because I know at the very end of game 3, it was Giratina against Clef, and again, like I said, Unaware won me that game because he was weakness policy. I set up the weakness policy with Moonblast, which was boosted from Meteor Beam. But then, yeah, I just hit 2 Moonblasts and beat. That's how that one went.
Yeah, well, I think that Ryder's gonna ride the Celesteela train throughout the playoffs. Like, I don't know if it has like an insane matchup against you per se, but like, it's doing big things for him. Like, and I don't know why you would change that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why you would stop doing it. So I think for your prep, Wex, you're really gonna have to focus on beating Celesteela. I think the other things in your team can handle Giratina. I think you can handle Incineroar. Metagross doesn't get his stats lowered by Incineroar, which is clutch. Like in Yveltal, you can run Rock Slide like you did against me, and you have options.
Rock Slide, not click it.
But Togi D and Celesteela are a threat, a big threat.
Yeah, I'd say this, like, Togedemaru changes this matchup completely. Like, yeah, I won the first one, but, like, Wall Rain, it was, last time I'm pretty sure he had Wall Rain, but, me and Xiao, in the end, like, me and Xiao and Trevenant, I think, or not Trevenant, me and Xiao and Rose Raid, in the end, and I was just able just to, he ran belly drum for some reason, or not for some reason, he ran belly drum on Wall Rain, and with both me and Xiao and Rosemary, I was able to clean up in the end. But Togedemaru changed it, like, because just the faster threat for Veltal. Like, I know I'm on paper I'm faster, but again, he could, for all I know, he could run Scarf, he could run, I don't know what he could run, but just find some way to just beat me, beat Veltal at least in that regard. Like, do I know what I'm gonna do? No, haven't a clue. Because Togedemaru changes everything for me personally. Again, it gives him a counter to Clef. Clef and Veltal are probably 2 of my stronger mons at the moment, and Togedemaru counters them both, which is a problem for me. So
wait, so are you saying Yveltal Mienshao isn't gonna be led? Is that not the lead?
I'm not saying anything right now, but I'm just saying that, like, for going off my last game where I led Yveltal Clef, like, Togedemaru beats both of them. So,
Eerie Impulse, Nuzzles.
No, it also beats the
Ironhead, whatever.
Shenanigans I ran last time. It also beats that. It's faster than it, so. Oh, it's gonna be a bit of a struggle. Not a struggle. It's gonna be a lot more difficult, I feel. So.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet. I have some ideas. All in all, I'm looking forward to it. Ryder and me always have good games. Well, usually. I got my first win over him this season, so hopefully I can get my second in semi-finals and I can progress to hopefully meet Kevin finals. Pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, should we do predictions on this match? Or...
We definitely can. I think it's always good to do predictions. I'll see why not. It could be Wex's first ever finals. That'd be very exciting.
I really hope so.
Wex, I'm gonna be honest. This is a tough matchup, but I have faith in you. I'm gonna say you 2-1.
I'm gonna follow you and say the same because it's just what I do. I always go 2-1 myself.
Yeah. I gotta back Wex. It's time for Wex to be in the finals. I think it'd be so exciting.
See, I really hope so. The only sad thing is that, like, if you make it to the finals, then the good old-fashioned prep team can't come together for a final stub.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to, you can. Like, you can tell me how to beat your team if you want. If you want to. You're saying 2-1 or 2-0?
I'm gonna say 2-1. I think I agree with you. I no, like, can't put Ryder down in any way. He's had a great season,
Ryder.
like comeback season. His transactions have really turned it around for him, and he's built a little dangerous, bulky ass team. So it's definitely he's getting a
Bulky
little,
and so stally. Oh boy.
yeah, he's getting a little comfortable with it, which is a little
Playoff.
it's a
Playoff
little
Chihuahua,
scary, but it's a little scary when Ryder gets comfortable with the team. But I don't
Scary
know.
when he brings out the Chihuahua and he's in playoffs. That is terrible.
Yeah.
I think that
It's
is
shiver me
terrifying.
timbers time. It is shivers. It's shiver me timbers time.
Oh,
But I back you, Wex. I back you. I think you got it.
I
Little
hope I do.
prep, you'll be chilling.
So that's a
2-1.
2-1, 2-1, 2-1, all for Wex from everybody here.
Probably
Well,
the first time everyone's gone against Ryder. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, I want to root for Ryder because he beat me, and if he wins, it's like, oh, guys, I lost to the champion. It's not that bad, right? But at the same time, it's like, do I go against Wex? I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. You know, I've supported you for the most part this entire season. So
Yeah.
what's the point of backing out now? You know, so
Yeah.
I'm a back the boy. I'm gonna say 2-1, and Kevin says 2-1. You say 2-1. That's that. You just better win 2-1, or else I'm gonna be very
Now you
upset.
gotta just put it into existence, Wex. That's all. That's all.
yeah. No pressure.
All right. Now we move on to the other side of the bracket where we have another semifinal match going on this week. We have Will versus Kevin. Wex, Wex, how do you think this one shakes out?
Pretty sure. Did you guys play in regular season? Yes,
we did. We played week 5. I won 2-1.
I actually don't remember that game, but on paper, I'm just looking across here. I like Aegislash. I'm not gonna lie. But also Zam is probably key here. Just looking roughly. So basically the main strategy, as always, is bring rocks because that's what's gonna win you the game.
I don't think
Mhm.
they have stealth rocks. Unless
Jonas-
Marowak.
Well,
Unless
you're
Marowak
true.
gets it.
2-0 will then. You've lost.
Yeah, that's true. 2-0 Will. You don't have
honestly,
no
I can
stealth rock
see-
hitter? Shame.
I can see Volcarona coming pretty big here. As for the Aunt Wu that you usually call it, Gothitelle. So my guess is maybe Gothitelle Lapras again. I'm not really sure what he runs if that's the case.
Can confirm Marowak does get stealth rocks.
You're 2-0 Kev. 2-0.
Okay, 2-0 Kevin then, right?
Easy.
One thing I
Um,
do want to touch on is that Gothitelle probably doesn't have the greatest matchup here. I mean, he does like to bring Scrafty, and he does almost always bring Aegislash. So into Gothitelle, is that really what you want to... Do you really want to bring Gothitelle, especially in the front?
I mean, he could go Gothitelle into Eternatus is decent, but the other things.
Yeah.
Obstagoon, I'm not sure what I can do. Obstagoon could be an option, but again, like probably something gets a fighting move and Obstagoon's just dead. So, does Will run Screwbat for the meme against Kev? I'm not gonna lie, I really hope he does.
I think he
does.
brings it. I don't know if he runs it, but I do think he brings it. He might run the Swoobat Blastoise. That'd be always a
pretty-
play. That it's something that Kevin has alluded to a couple of times. So Will might take that as a note and say, you know what, I'm gonna use this against him. So we'll see if that plays out. Because he does have answers into Thunderous, if that is the case. And I'm pretty sure a max Hailstorm from like an Ice Beam would be able to kill the Thunderous one shot if he is able to set up properly. So I mean, this is honestly some scary territory for Kev. He is a dangerous team. But I mean, Kev, you could also lead Klefki screens. But he has so many brick breakers though, so it's like, well, not so many, but he does bring that often. I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a toughie.
Like
I'm gonna say 2-1 Kev, because I think we're gonna figure something out. But this is a tight one.
I'm honestly don't know. This one is so like it's definitely going to be a 2-1. I don't see a 2-0 coming unless one of them comes up with a insane strat that the other can't like cope with whatsoever. Like I don't even know. Like we saw with the Beware shenanigans that happened with Will and was it Will run Beware against someone? I can't remember. Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But like that strategy was pretty good. But like we've seen Manetric come the last couple of weeks for Will. Does he run Manetric when you have Marowak sitting there? Like it's a bit. I don't know. I know it's good against Moltres, it's good against Dundee. Is it neutral against Dundee or is it super effective? Like, I'm confused if electric resists electric or not.
It's neutral.
Neutral, right. But I really don't know. Zam beats Whimsicott. See Dundee. I'm gonna just based on matchup and just faith, I'm gonna say 2-1 Kev. Kev, I'm sure you're gonna just say 2-0 yourself, like always. Something never changes.
See, this one is tough. I really want to, but I feel like this is my most even matchup on paper. Like our teams are very, very similar in which you don't really know what's coming each week. Like there's a bunch of different things that we can do. And you just don't know what they pick. Like I gotta really analyze his team, I think, and think about what is best against my team. But at the same time, Will could just pull out some shenanigans and try and run with it. So I'm not quite sure. I think Aegislash is always scary. I'm not excited about it. It's proven really well for him this season. Like everyone was like, Aegislash, that's a singles mon, but he's proven, he's given it really, really good use this season. Always scared of Jinx. He hasn't used Jinx in a while, but those sleeps could be deadly. The Netric has proven big for him.
Like if he doesn't see anything else like going his way, I'm sure Jinx comes just to try and set up sleeps to try and win. Like that, like Jinx is one of them mons where like if you're not having a great matchup against things, you can always just bring Jinx and just fire off some lovely kisses, and like the matchup can just turn on that like alone. Like so, we've seen it from prep, like prepping with Jinx or even just random sleep mons like on other teams. Like one lucky land on a sleep can turn an entire match and win you a set.
Yeah, I hope he brings Swoobat. I really do. That's my guy. If he beats me,
what are you saying? You're saying 2-1, then 2-1 you?
I don't know. It's kind of tough. I guess. But I'm gonna back myself. Nah, 2-0. Stuff it. We're coming with confidence.
Yeah, you sticking with it. Like
oh boy,
we're coming with confidence. There's just things that he can do that do scare me, and he has a lot of like you were saying, Justin. His whole team has some sort of like utility and usefulness that really help him. So it's gonna be on team preview, like what he brings. That's how I'm gonna have to analyze it, 100%. Like I can do as much prep as I want, but he could bring any one of these mons and they would have some strong usage against me. Like he brought Sandaconda last time, and we haven't even talked about that because Ground has such a good matchup against my team. So I don't know. I will say 2-0 myself though. We're backing the boy.
All right, so that's 2-1, 2-1, and a 2-0. Not a surprise there. I also wanted to mention congratulations to our pick'em winners. Wex, myself, Ryder, Rooster, and Will all won their pick'ems. Unfortunately for the others, they did not win their pick'ems. And Wex and Ryder actually got all 4 correct, which is pretty cool. So congratulations to those two. Those are our pick'em winners, and those are the semifinal matches coming up. So, if anyone else has any other final thoughts, now is your time to say them, because this is our second to last episode until the end of the season. This has been a very, very good time, boys, at the NDA podcast. It's almost time to wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
I just want to say shout out Podcast Squad, Will, Ryder, me, and Wex for all being in the semifinals. The valuable members of the podcast made it to the final.
That's.
Love you, buddy.
I'm sure we can probably do. We'll probably end up doing some awards though afterwards, maybe.
I'm in so much pain.
I know last season we did the you guys did the awards like just as a doc, so I'm pretty sure we'll do an award show or something. So it's probably what we'll end up doing after the final, I'm guessing, or maybe before the final. I guess after final because scheduling this podcast is a pain in the hole. Overall, I just want to say thanks for listening, yeah, and I'll just pass it back to Justin to wrap it up.
All right, so this has been episode number 18 of the NDA podcast. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Wex, for joining me today. And yeah, one more episode, and that'll be covering the finals matchup, which is going to be two players that we are familiar with, probably. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I think they've been on the podcast maybe more than once. There's a chance that is likely.
It's guaranteed.
It is guaranteed. But yeah, that wraps things up for today. Thank you guys so much for listening in, and we'll catch you for the last time next week. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.
So catch you guys later.